Call meeting to order. President Baldwin, will you lead us in a prayer?
We will. Pray, Father, Lord, thank you for the opportunity to serve this great city. We ask for your blessing and your anointing. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Roll call.
Councilmember Dietz.
Here.
Bolden.
Here.
Blevins.
Here.
Sansing.
Here.
Ray.
Here.
Mashburn. Trailer.
Here.
Twitty. Smith. Raines.
Here.
Mr. Mayor.
I'm here.
2 absent, sir.
All right, thank you. For you have the minutes of June the 3rd meeting, and I'm looking for a motion to approve and adopt the minutes of the June 3rd meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, so
Consent agenda.
then we had the consent agenda. Entertain a motion to,
Move the consent agenda in entirety.
got a motion second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, so that brings us to Resolution 811, Sewer Department. Thea, you're up. Do we want to do it? Do we need to read it before she's- Okay.
Need to read it first, don't we?
Yeah.
I need to read it.
Okay, Leanne just walked in, so she might rather be up.
We got extra microphones down here, Leanne. How are you?
No, we are here tonight to get a resolution passed so that we can issue bonds in an amount not to exceed $8.150, $8 million. And this is for a plant project. We're upgrading the treatment plant. It's a little over 30 years old. There's a lot of large equipment that is, a couple of pieces are actually failing and have to be replaced, and then there's some other things we're doing to upgrade our plant so that we can handle flow and treat additional water the way that we need to. And so tonight's resolution is for us to proceed with the bond issue, and then we would be back in November for an ordinance to go ahead and issue the bonds. And I think that's on November 18th. There'll be a public hearing at that time.
Okay. Any questions of Thea's? Anybody have any comments or questions?
You might want to mention how much it's coming out of your own reserve.
Okay.
These bonds.
Okay, the plant project, it's about 60% design completion right now, so we don't have the actual final cost, but it's going to be somewhere around $16 million. And we are going to be contributing about $5 million out of reserve funds that we've saved for this purpose. And we also have a partnership with Waste Management that they'll be contributing to the project as well, so that we can handle their leachate water. And then the remainder will be paid by the bond issue.
Any other questions? All right, I understand the motion. Oh, sorry, Rose.
So, are we keeping with the same system, same inputs, same outputs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This will just be to upgrade old equipment that's failing,
Right,
and also
and
just to
to
handle
increase
more water.
capacity?
Yes, we'll increase our capacity from 12 MGD to 24 million gallons, so it'll double. Yes.
With it doubling, will this also include more jobs?
No, it will help us be able to handle heavy rain better and be able to stay within our permit. Right now, to meet our permit when there's really heavy rain, the operators have to work around the clock nonstop, making adjustments and changing things and just kind of like praying and hoping and keeping their fingers crossed. So this will help that process to go smoother.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, seeing none, I'd entertain the motion to approve Resolution 811.
To read.
Make a motion to
To
approve.
read, sorry, we need to read it.
Make a motion to read.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay.
Resolution number 811, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city council of the city of Jacksonville, Arkansas, cooperation with the underwriter and bond council to proceed with matters preliminary to the issuance of not to exceed approximately $8,150,000 principal amount of wastewater revenue bonds in one or more series of bonds to finance improvements, betterments, and extension to the Jacksonville sewer system, authorizing the issuance and sale of wastewater revenue bonds, Series 2021, declaring its intention to reimburse itself for qualifying expenditures from the proceeds of the bonds, and prescribing other matters relating thereto.
Move the adoption of resolution 1811.
Got a motion second for 811. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. All right, motion carried. Thank you, Thea. Thank you, Everett.
We'd like to say we appreciate everything you do. You and your team do an outstanding job. Appreciate you.
Okay, so now we're going to the third and final reading of ordinance 1669. I entertain a motion to put ordinance 1669 on third reading.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Yay.
Bolden.
Aye.
Levens.
Aye.
Sansing.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
Trailer.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Raines.
Aye.
Ordinance number 1669, an ordinance amending and modifying Jacksonville Municipal Codes 1828020 et al. For zoning and property use provisions, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Okay, any discussion on the, all right, I think we've had
I
enough. Yes.
I do have a question. So, what is the difference between the copy that was given to us tonight and the one that's in the packet?
There's no changes, Councilmember Rose. We had looked at it, we reviewed it, which is what they had asked us to do, and after we reviewed it on the Planning Commission, that they unanimously approved everything to stay as it was. And we did make sure we classified a few items that you can go down in classification, but you can't go down from a C1, which would be commercial, and put it in a residential or make it residential without coming back through the Planning Commission and the council. So that was the biggest thing. We wanted to make sure that we had everybody protected and protected our city codes and the really the usage for the city.
Any further questions? Okay. I'd entertain a motion to approve and adopt ordinance 1669.
Second.
All right, roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
Levens.
Aye.
Sansing.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
Trailer.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Raines.
Aye.
Okay, we have emergency clause. I entertain a
So
motion.
moved.
All right, got a motion.
Second.
Got a motion second. Any discussion emergency clause? All right, seeing none, roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
Levens.
Aye.
Sansing.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
Trailer.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Raines.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. It has passed. Okay, brings us next to ordinance 1672. I entertain a motion to place ordinance 1672 on first reading.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
Levens.
Aye.
Sansing.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
Trailer.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Raines.
Aye.
Ordinance number 1672, an ordinance reclassifying property in the city of Jacksonville, Arkansas, amending ordinance numbers 213 and 238 in the land use map of the city of Jacksonville, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Okay, we all have this map, and if you have any questions, Mr. Oakley's here, and the planning commissioner is here. So, is there any questions on this ordinance?
Can we get a more elaborative explanation?
Well, I can tell you what I know. What I know is it's the house that used to be Otis Goodsel's next door to Jacksonville Animal Clinic, and he's wanting to use it for his interns that help in the vet clinic, and it needs to be commercial for residential for long-term financing. It's right there on First Street, right next to his clinic. Got the half-circle driveway. I think his mom lived in the little house next door.
Yep.
And so that's what it is. Does that help? You know, he's next door to Kroger. It's just down the road.
The animal hospital, Rose, is bought the
Yeah, I
building.
know where the animal
Yeah.
hospital is, where the auto or the
Right.
parts store used to be. But so we're reclassifying it, rezoning it from commercial back to residential.
Yes. That's what the request is, what it was approved. Because he's going to house his students, temporary students. They come in and he trains them from different areas, you know, LSU, Texas, because there's a shortage of everybody, especially students. So he's been putting his own students up and paying for them in a motel. And so this way he's going to redo the property and make it where it's just for his use. It's not going to be rental, long-term rental. It's going to be for his individual partners that he's training and people to try to get to come here. So he will be having to do some extensive remodeling on the property. It's a really nice, solid property, but it needs lots of upgrades, but he's willing to do that, and he knows that.
Right.
And that's why we did it. If he goes back to, if it was going to a long-term rental, we set it up where it would have to come back to the city council. He would have to bring it back to the planning commission, the city council, to allow that. See, if we went down normally what we were looking at, to be honest, in the other one, since we were going from C1 back to the R1, you know, since we were going down, if we hadn't changed the ordinance the way we did, that would have been allowable. But we don't allow anybody without approval to live in a commercial property. So that's why we did all the changes, to make sure that we had it feasible with what the city and the planning commission, the way they like it to be.
So Councilmember Dietz mentioned a contingency that if it did go to a long-term rental, that they would have to come back to that. Where is that contingency listed?
It's in the planning commission guidelines that we set in there, but it's not as it becomes a long-term rental. That's not the object. He doesn't want long-term rentals.
Right, obviously not right now, but if something came
yeah, he does not want it. If he sold it, he would go back to see because it brings a lot more value.
Right.
So yes.
Any other questions on this ordinance? Okay, I hear a
Motion to approve and place on second reading.
All right, motion second. No more discussion. Roll call.
Councilmember Dietz.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
Levens.
Aye.
Sansing.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
Trailer.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Raines.
Aye.
Okay, I entertain a motion to approve on second reading, put on
Second.
third and final reading. Got a motion second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilmember Dietz.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
Levens.
Aye.
Sansing.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
Trailer.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Raines.
Aye.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to approve and adopt
So move.
ordinance 1672. Got it? Motion second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilmember Dietz.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
Levens.
Aye.
Sansing.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
Trailer.
Aye.
Twitty. I'm sorry. Smith.
Aye.
Raines.
Aye.
I was skipping to the end.
That's all right. I entertain a motion to approve and adopt emergency clause.
Emergency clause. So move.
Second.
All right, any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilmember Dietz.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
Levens.
Aye.
Sansing.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
Trailer.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Raines.
Aye.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to, with it passed, and we're on 1671, I'd entertain a motion to place ordinance 1671 on first reading.
So move.
Need a second?
Second.
I got it.
Okay, all right, roll call.
Councilmember Dietz.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
Levens.
Aye.
Sansing.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
Trailer.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Raines.
Aye.
Ordinance number 1671, an ordinance to set additional millage rates to be established in 2022 for the city of Jacksonville, Arkansas, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Thank you. This is in y'all's package in case you have any questions. It's the same millage we had last year. It's housekeeping that we do every year. And we send it to the county, then the county approves it in December, and they collect it. Yes, sir.
So back in 2019, we had a town hall meeting in which both yourself and Les Collins had it in front of all the citizens of Jacksonville. And at that time, we were getting rid of the library millage. And you asked at that time if you could use the 1%, which you split up into 0.5 for capital improvement and 0.5 for general fund.
Right.
Now, during that meeting, we said we didn't want it to be forever, and that you said during that meeting that there would be a 2-year sunset clause on that, which puts it at this time. So because it was
That wasn't in the ordinance. I don't remember the town.
but you said it. You did say it. But I believe that during the time also when the second part of it was done back in November, Councilmember Smith and Councilmember Twitty, it passed 7-2. But at the time, they had made mention also that, citizens asked for a reprieve for taxes. I think that with the additional money that we've got for COVID, and I think that this $300,000 for this 1 mil, which is the 0.5 for the general fund and the 0.5 for capital improvement fund, I think that we need to stick with what was promised and eliminate that as a reprieve for the citizens of Jacksonville.
Okay, but that's not the ordinance, right? We're approving the ordinance that are on the books.
Right, but I'm saying that
So-
during this ordinance, you have both of these half mills on here, and I'm saying that I don't believe that we should approve this because you said during the town. Please don't rush me. I'm trying to explain why I'm saying this. At the time, you did say that you were not going to continue this past 2 years, which puts it at this point. I just believe that this is not what was discussed when the citizens allowed you to take that 1%.
Okay. Councilmember Raines?
Mr. Mayor, if I'm hearing this right, I believe that what Councilmember Blevins is asking is for that we move to make an amendment to Ordinance 1671 to remove sections 1 and 2, moving the subsequent sections up.
Thank you, Councilman Raines.
So is there a second on her motion?
I'll second.
Okay. Cheryl, you want to put any input on this?
If you remove the 0.5% mil off of the general fund, then the one-time money is not going to be there forever that we've gotten from the COVID pandemic. And the 0.5 mil that we've got coming in from the general fund helps sustain our normal operations. The 0.5 that is going into capital improvements is helping to pay for our capital equipment that we haven't had those funds available in order to purchase the necessary equipment that we've needed for several years because our revenues just have not been up. And so we're working, trying to catch up from the last census. And so now that the money is coming in, I don't think that it would really be prudent to stop that at this point.
Any questions of Cheryl?
No questions, but I would like to clarify because I did not make a proper motion. I was just explaining what I believe, what I was hearing from Councilmember Blevins, and at any point he could have corrected me, but he said thank you. So I'm guessing that that is in fact what he was asking.
He's indicating yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I did not make that motion.
Gotcha. Thank you. Sorry.
Do you want to make the motion? She said, I don't know what y'all want to do.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to amend Ordinance 1671 and remove Section 1 and Section 2. I just want to say this equals out to be $300,000. $300,000 for the city means a lot. During this whole year has been a learning experience for me, and I have heard from this council multiple times about how we don't want to continue to tax our citizens, and we don't want to continue to add money for them to be paying. This is a perfect opportunity for us to live up to that.
Thank you. Are you seconding it, Rose? Councilmember Raines, are you seconding his motion?
I did not say anything, no.
Okay. Do I have a second on his motion? Now it's official motion.
Motion lost, so let's see.
Okay, so that motion dies for lack of second. All right, I enter a motion to approve ordinance 1671 first reading and put place on second. All right, any more discussion?
Yes, so to clarify, why I am not seconding this motion is because $300,000 is a lot of money. And this city does need that money to maintain the operations that are going on. I've been investing my time personally as a representative to try and find opportunities that we can take as a city to optimize our operations, minimize the upfront costs, and to bring clean, renewable energy into the city. I think that at that point, after getting that maybe, we could look into taking that $300,000 off, because the anaerobic digester, if we produced 100% of our electricity needs as a municipality, that would be over $300,000.
Thank you. Okay, any further discussion? Okay, roll call.
Councilmember Deeds.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
Levens.
Nay.
Sansing.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
Trailer.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Raines.
Aye.
Okay. Entertain a motion to approve on second reading, place on third and final reading. All right, any more discussion?
I would like for us to hold off on the third and final reading so that if constituents are wanting to speak with us on this matter, they have the opportunity to do so for it to then be approved at the following meeting.
If I'm correct, if we do that,
We can't.
we can't. I'd have to call a special meeting next week just for this, because it has to be the county by the end of the month.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So is that still a motion, or?
well, this is the discussion point.
Right.
It's not a motion or anything like that. But what makes that special meeting off the table if constituents, because they are now having this live audio footage where they're getting detailed information of what this is. They're not just getting this black and white piece of paper that they may not understand nuances about, So I do think that giving them the opportunity at least a week to get with representatives, if you do not approve of this ordinance 1671, I don't know if any other representative on this council, mayor, agrees to that, but I think that giving citizens the opportunity to give feedback to their representatives is crucial.
Can I make a comment for
Yes.
Rose?
Yes, sir.
Or Ms. Raines? We do this every year.
Yes.
Every year, we do this every year, and on what you're saying, what this needs to be done is it needs to be brought to us before the last meeting, before it has to be turned in.
I would also agree to that.
We got this from the county.
But it's every year we
Yeah,
have this.
we have to wait on the county to give it to us so we can present it. We wanted it last meeting, and we got a blank sheet of paper from them.
It literally came in the mail 3-4 days ago.
Yeah.
One thing we have to understand is that we have a budget in this city we have to be concerned about, and it's not a new tax. It's not new money. It's money that we're asking for a vote to go ahead and continue it so that our finances in our city can still sustain.
I understand that.
For us to say we need it earlier, we got to depend on, just like we talked about the highway department, we don't control that. When they give it to us, we got to vote on it, and we have a time frame. You've been in this game a long time.
No, that's what I say. I don't know why.
Yeah, I wish they would get it to us earlier.
January.
So, yeah.
I agree with you on that, but you know how that
Yeah, we should have had it last meeting, and we should approve it this
There you
meeting.
go.
I
Well,
don't disagree with that.
From my understanding, Mr. Mayor, this ordinance you said had not changed a single bit since the last year. So why can't we put it on the agenda without having the ordinance and actually have it as a discussion?
Because, I guess we could discuss it next year.
Okay,
In
so
advance.
that sounds like a reasonable compromise?
Yes, it does.
Okay, because again, like I said, it is very important that we give our citizens the opportunity to, respond and get their voices heard. Because we don't always have an open door policy that they can express their concerns, feedback, or whatever. We don't always have a public hearing here.
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay. Roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
We're roll call now.
Third and final reading.
Final reading.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
Levens.
Nay.
Sansing.
Aye.
Ray. Trailer.
Aye.
Smith. Raines.
Nay.
Okay. I'd entertain a motion to approve and
So
adopt.
move.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
Levens.
Nay.
Sansing.
Aye.
Ray. Trailer.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Raines.
Nay.
Okay. We can't do emergency clause, we don't have seven, right?
Five right now. County and school and the.
Okay. All right. Now I'd entertain a motion to approve and adopt the emergency clause.
So move. Let's do it.
All right. Got a motion second. Roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
Levens.
Nay.
Sansing.
Aye.
Ray. Trailer.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Raines.
Nay.
Well, we put it on third and approved it, and then,
We've done 2/3 of the people here, correct?
yeah, we had six debate.
We had
Okay.
7 to go from second to third. We don't have 7 to go from third.
We have 2/3 of the people present to go from second to third.
So you're saying all we need is 6?
So we need 2/3, yeah.
2/3 of those present or
Yes.
2/3 of the body?
Present.
Because my understanding is it's 2/3 of the body.
And
I would
so
also-
just to
Yeah.
jump in on this conversation, my understanding of Robert's Rules of Order is it is 2/3 of the body, not present.
I would like to say that I have been subject to situations where you guys told me that it was 2/3 of the body as a whole, not what was here. I mean,
Right.
multiple times.
Even last meeting.
That was an amendment.
I couldn't hear you.
Yes, I have the book over here.
So you're wanting a special, if it doesn't pass, you're wanting another meeting. This has to go to the county on the 29th.
meeting.
I think it's the 28th that has to be to the county by the 28th.
It's gotta be on the 28th.
What's it?
Yes.
Here's
Yeah.
the email. The email I have says the 29th.
28th?
Okay.
I have the letter in front of me. It says the 29th.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Is that the end of the month?
Friday.
Yep.
Last business day.
So this is 2/3 of the members present.
And Robert's Rule of Order.
Yes.
And does it have a citation on that? So that we can look it up and just verify? I did give Mayor Johnson my full and complete copy. And it is 12th edition. For her to check the reference, the
She's
citation.
referencing it right now.
We're not rushing anything over here. We're making sure that we are doing this correct and we are doing our citizens a service.
Thanks, Golden. No pressure for me. Thank you for the music. Appreciate it. All I have is 2/3 of the members present. There's
That's
no
what it says,
citation.
yeah.
There's no citation. There's
Now,
no
to change an
specific-
ordinance, you need 2/3 of the body.
Correct.
Is that correct? Okay.
Correct. If you're changing something, you have to have 2/3 of the body's vote. To suspend the rules, you would need the members present.
Okay. Okay.
That's the difference between the
Okay.
2/3 present versus the 2/3 overall.
Ordinance passes then.
So far, we don't have to make plans for next week,
Right.
So far.
so far.
Meeting's not open.
Okay, so that concludes 1671, okay.
1674.
That brings us 1674, adoption revised wards redistricting plan.
Excuse me,
Yes, sir.
what's the conclusion on 16?
It passed. Oh. And now then we're talking about the rezoning. You got a new map that Metro Plan did for me. For those of y'all that aren't here. So take a look at that. So first I'm going to ask that I'd entertain a motion to place ordinance 1674 on first reading.
Second.
Okay, got a motion, a second. Roll call.
Councilmember Deeds.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
Levens.
Aye.
Sansing. Ray.
Aye.
Trailer.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Raines.
Aye.
Ordinance number 1674, an ordinance amending and modifying Jacksonville Municipal Code, section 1.12, for approval and adoption of a revised ward redistricting plan within the city of Jacksonville, Arkansas, for use and adherence to said redistricting plan for all citywide elections during the calendar year of 2022 forward, to effect certification to the Pulaski County Clerk and Pulaski County Election Commission of the modified redistricting plan and for other purposes.
Okay, and the difference between the one that you have here and the one we discussed last week was the west side of 67 is now in Ward 5, which is about 34 people. That's in Ward 5, where that little imaginary line between Maddox Road and 67 was undefinable. So we just moved those 34 people, and it kept us well within our boundaries of what we can and can't do. You can see all the wards are close. And now Ward 5 has 5956, where Ward 1 has 5905. And that's really the only change with this one than last week. So, any discussion?
Yes, I have several questions. So my first question is the current Jacksonville ward map or alternative to the Jacksonville ward map geographically contiguous wards?
Yeah.
So let me just verify the definition of what a contiguous ward or district is. Which means that they have to be subsequently connected. For example, it would not be permissible to have a portion of a district as an island that was not connected geographically to the rest of the district. And we do
Correct.
have a non-contiguous.
Are you talking about this little green one?
Yes.
Nobody
So
lives there.
can you elaborate on that, and why do we have a geographically not contiguous ward within?
It was done before I got here, and I've been trying to fix it. I'm talking to those landowners to let me take 500 feet of the back of their property and connect it to Loop Road, so it is continuous. And we have actually an island that shouldn't be here that are bringing into the city.
Right.
And so, which is in the same ward.
Right. And like I'm bringing this up because we have the opportunity to alleviate that, to actually make sure that we have a map that is contiguous, that meets all of the guidelines and parameters that we're supposed to be following.
So what do we need to do?
You're talking about
The shooting range. Yeah.
You're not talking about the shooting range, right?
I'm-
You're talking about the part going up, and you're talking about that? Okay.
Yeah.
That's the shooting range. And it's not connected. It was before people left the city and created an island out there, my
Right.
understanding. And so I'm talking to the property owners to see if I can get the back piece of their land connected to Loop Road. They have to voluntarily come into the city. Or if not, we're going to have to
we
vote.
allowed them to leave the city. Like that had to be voted on by the council,
We annexed
right?
the shooting range when we purchased it.
Yeah, I don't remember. I
Isn't that
wasn't
what
here.
we did?
Yeah, we annexed.
But it created an island.
I used to live on an island.
You kind of did, didn't you? Yeah.
It really did.
Ready
I
to
drove
go
through
back
Sherwood
over the
every
line.
day to get to
Worse now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
At that time, it wasn't against the law to create an hour.
right, but because of gerrymandering throughout the years, things have developed. You know, we get better systems, so on and so forth. So I'm just making point of that. We
Right. I'm
have
aware
the
of it, and I'm trying to
ability.
fix it.
Right, we have the ability to talk to our map makers and get it done correctly. So the second question that I have is, are all of these districts geographically compacted? Do they pass the salamander rule? Do they have any tails or anything like that?
No.
Not that I know. I mean, they're
Well-
identical wards to what we had.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that the wards were not done well in the first place, and we have the opportunity to readdress this and get it done correctly. I'm bringing this up as discussion of this, right? We're trying to adopt a new map, right?
Correct.
So
That Metro Plan drew up, sent to us.
And can they not take the points that I'm bringing and make a new map?
Well, they could do whatever we ask, I guess. but-
Right.
It's been a year or two.
So the other one is minimizing splitting subdivisions, and there are several parts of this map where one side of the street is one ward and the other side of the street is another ward. As well as, let's see, Marshall Road is another big, Marshall and MacArthur, another big neighborhood area that's literally split in half.
That's not uncommon in districts when I was state rep.
Yeah, and I'm saying minimizing that, right? And minimizing the division of communities of interest, right? Which the people who lived on Marshall Road and MacArthur and anything less than a mile away from that radius is a community of interest. So I'm bringing this up, and I would like for us to revisit this and get a map that does our community service and doesn't split neighborhoods in half.
Well, let me ask, Brother.
Yes, sir.
Mayor.
Yes.
In the Ward 3, going south, and when we annexed that, the city of Jacksonville annexed that, it was 2 liquor stores there, and we couldn't.
You gotta turn your mic on, Reedy.
My mic's on, I just ain't talking.
All right.
There was 2 liquor stores there, and we couldn't annex those 2 liquor stores, so we just skipped over that and went on to the cemetery part, then went on over to 440. That's why see that skip there right there in 440 it says 161. You look at that right there. I'd like for that to be in there too, instead of close in right there, but we couldn't close it in at that time. The law wouldn't let us close that in, so we skipped on that, and we've been living with that ever since then.
And you have to have some sort of natural boundaries.
Yeah.
Councilmember Blevins.
I have a question for Councilmember Raines. When you were looking at this, what was it? Was it just the separation of neighborhoods and I mean, what? I guess my question is, what made you question this?
That would be the several constituents that have brought it up to me before I even got elected. They deliberately contacted me in December before I got elected because they said that we were not doing the citizens justice with this map. And they gave me the guidelines and parameters, and I looked at it, and to be fair, they are correct. We literally split streets in the middle. One side of the street's one ward, the other side of the street's another ward. And it's very,
Yeah.
it's very...
all across the country.
My JP district was this side of Graham Road, not that side. It's just how it is all over.
Mr. Mayor, Ward 1 and Ward 2 is the same way.
Yeah.
If you look at it, all the wards run like that.
Yeah, all the wards run like that, and it's not just here in Jacksonville, it's across the country.
Yes, sir.
Other than being able to run and sit up here as an alderman, what difference in this city does it make what ward you live in?
Representation.
Well, because of the fact
We represent every citizen in the town.
yeah, because
Right, but let's say, for instance, right, that I addressed myself as one of these communities of interest, right? I've been directly impacted by VRTAC, and literally the neighborhood that it is around the mile radius of the VRTAC facility is literally split in half.
well, let me say,
We have suffered so long. We have had 3 lawsuits that have literally gone nowhere, and there is no representation. If I were to have come on to this campaign trail in 2019 or 2020 and gone and said, yes, I am directly impacted by VRTAC. I have a congenital birth defect that was directly caused by the dioxin that my mom gave me, right, through her embryonic fluid. There would be no way that I would be up here today. You guys wouldn't even have let me try, right? There would have been more money gone to taking me down than just thinking, oh, she's a 20-something-year-old person. She's definitely not getting in.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Bolden.
what I want to cover real quickly, and Councilmember Raines, I understand you like to school us at night, but the bottom line is this is for voting. When a person owns property, they understand about sometime across the street that person might vote for so-and-so, this person vote for so-and-so, because we run at large. Because we run at large, we cover all of these zones. Every one of these zones are taken care of by all
And
of us.
all of these zones do not
Let
have
me
the
finish.
direct.
Wait a minute, because I'm not here for a college class.
Yeah, don't interrupt you.
The bottom line is, it's nothing wrong with these zones. Across the country, there are many people that are sitting on one side of the street and vote for somebody else. It's not just Jacksonville. And that's one thing you learn when you own property, when you live somewhere, you understand the dividing factors. So this is all about voting, so I call for the vote.
Okay.
Gerrymandering does happen across the United States, but
It
the thing
certainly does.
is
Certainly
that
does.
we
We have
need
the
to
question
do
call. We
something.
have
We
a-
need
we
to
have a call
speak
for the
up,
vote.
and we need to
Sorry to
not
interrupt
be
you. We have a call for the
silent
vote.
when it comes to things that are right.
You're out of order, Councilmember Raines. We have a call for the vote. Roll
That's
call.
the first time that I've heard you call out of order.
I haven't had a hammer. Thank you.
I call without it.
Roll call.
Councilmember Dietz.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
Levens.
Aye.
Sansing.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
Trailer.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Raines.
Nay?
Okay. I'd entertain a motion to approve
So
ordinance
moved.
16 on first reading, place on second reading.
Second.
That was second, right?
Yes.
Okay, that was second. Put on third and final reading.
No, that was,
That was-
on first,
Okay, put on second. Okay. All right.
and Ray is the second.
All right. Roll call.
Councilmember Dietz.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
Levens. Councilmember Levens.
Sorry, give me just one moment, please.
1001, 1002, 1003.
Okay, okay, okay.
Aye.
Sansing.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
Trailer.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Raines.
Nay.
I entertain a motion place on,
So moved.
approve on second and put on final third reading.
Second.
Okay, I got a motion second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilmember Dietz.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
Levens.
Aye.
Sansing.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
Trailer.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Raines.
Nay.
Okay, I entertain a motion to approve and adopt ordinance
So moved.
1674.
Second. Do I have any emergency call?
Got a motion second. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Dietz.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
Levens.
Aye.
Sansing.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
Trailer.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Raines.
Nay.
Okay. That brings us to Resolution 812, authorizing service agreement with Rock Region. Okay. I'd entertain a motion to place ordinance 812 on first reading.
So moved.
Is it an ordinance?
Resolution, sorry. To read 812.
Resolution 812.
Do I have a motion?
Yeah, I made a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second, I need a second.
Second.
Right.
All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. All right.
Resolution number 812, a resolution approving and granting authorization to Mayor Johnson and other officials to enter into a service agreement with Rock Region Metropolitan Transit Authority and for other purposes.
Reese, would you come up and introduce yourself and maybe help explain?
I have Reese Pearl here
You're
representing.
welcome to sit, but it may take a while. Use the one with the green light.
With the green light.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go. Hi, Reese Pearl, representing Rock Region Metro for Mr. Frazier, CEO of Rock Region.
Appreciate you being here tonight.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Councilmember, we had a presentation a few months ago about and it's a trial system for 3 years, and will provide good bus service for our citizens that we don't have right now. So any discussions of Rock Region? Councilmember Blevins.
Well, first of all, it's not a bus, right? It's one man and one car driving around for 5 hours for the first shift and 5 hours for the second shift, 6 days a week, correct?
It'll be we've been ordering ProMaster vans, and it'll be one person, and it's 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday.
Okay. Now, when this was brought up, I know there was a lot of talk, and it actually even says it here in the ordinance or the resolution that was presented to us that was talking about projected care funding. The thing that I want to talk about though is in this chart, it says that if any time Rock Metro decides that this is affecting them, they're using their CARES money, or it stops them from doing something else with their CARES money, that you guys could just stop it and we'll be stuck fitting the full bill without any of the CARES Act, and that could happen at any time. Is that correct?
That is in the agreement, yes, but don't foresee anything like that occurring.
But it could happen.
There's always a potential if it's in the agreement, yes.
Okay. Also, if you don't mind, like this value is $240,000 for, again, one vehicle and one person to essentially Uber people around for 10 hours a day for 6 days a week, which means that we could pay somebody, like $240,000 to drive around and go pick people up, and like this is not really an actual bus system. This is not like what we have had before, and at a cost of $60-something an hour. I believe the quote was even said back when it was $82,000. The quote was, "With that amount of money, I can run our own bus system and service the people for less money." I mean, that's a statement. Do you agree with that statement?
Well, it just isn't one van and one person. We typically will have some on reserve, a person on reserve, just in case there is a sickness or a vacation. We also have to purchase a couple of vehicles. It just isn't one vehicle. We'll have a reserve as well as a supervisor vehicle.
Please forgive me. When I was saying one person and one vehicle, I didn't mean like one guy named Bob and his vehicle. I was meaning At any one time there's one employee driving one Rock City Metro van. Correct. I feel that there are other options for us to look into. I was told that there was going to be an opportunity to bring up another option, and I would get a heads up about this, which obviously that didn't happen. But I feel like this is a lot of money. Not to mention the fact that you said it's a trial basis for 3 years. If we were to stop, like say we did it for the first year and we decided that we didn't want to do it, like it's going to cost us $100,000 to get out of this contract, and I feel that there is. I just feel this isn't the right fit. So I was just curious: is there any way to guarantee these care funds? Can we say, hey, look, you know, we will guarantee, instead of having that amendment in there about, like, if we feel that this is hurting us, we won't take away that money?
Well, the CARES fund, that it is applied to this agreement. There's always a possibility with the care funds that there could be something out of our control that could take place. So I know that the funding is dedicated to this agreement, and that we have Rock Region Metro's commitment to provide this transportation for the citizens.
Any further questions?
I don't have a question, but I do have a statement. One of the advantages of employing within the system is having the Little Rock Metro network. So not only are these services being provided to the city of Jacksonville, they have the opportunity to go to those satellite stations, like at the, I believe it was the mall.
Correct.
Right, and so they can use their Metro Pass to get them to North Little Rock, to whatever area location. And I do believe, was it Conway that was also looking to adopt this phase 1 of these operations of this program? Right. So realistically, like, we're looking at the possibility of a citizen with a bus pass, right? And how much is that monthly, annually?
It's for each rider would be, a passenger would be $1.35 within the zone.
But with the membership pass, or is it per ride?
Per ride.
Okay, so
Yeah,
there
it's
isn't an
on-demand
unlimited
service.
ride pass?
We don't have anything set up like that right now, but we could certainly entertain that.
Well, I would definitely like to entertain having that option for an unlimited ride pass. Say, for instance, that we do have citizens that have a high velocity of transit operations, right? And they can help maintain that system by you know, kind of working with them, a little back and forth, right?
Sure.
But like I was saying, this gives our citizens at a reasonable cost the opportunity to go from Jacksonville to Conway, and that is remarkable, right? Has Conway officially approved or gone into?
And we're continuing to work with Conway on that. We have some, it's a little bit different, have some zones, but it is specific for the community. And if we do reach out to be able to travel back and forth, then that would be something that we would work on as we progress in the process.
Right, but Conway has a connection network to Little Rock, so, right? In that system.
As of right now, it is within that community.
It's just within that community, and
Correct.
they do not have a connection location like the Jacksonville plan does.
Correct.
Okay. I misunderstood that then, my apologies. But
okay.
Still, like, citizens having the opportunity to use public transit to go from Jacksonville to Sherwood to North Little Rock is still a remarkable network that you guys have built up.
I don't know if you're familiar with what we used to have out here.
I am not.
We had one bus that drove through town about 3 times a day,
Once.
and that was it. Morning, noon, and night. That's all you had, and we averaged about 4 riders a day.
With that being said,
Yes, sir.
if we had that and we only had 4 riders a day, why do we think we're going to be able to justify spending $87,000 one year, $109,000 the next, $130,000? Why do we think we're going to have that many more riders? I think
Because,
it'd be nice to have
because
public
it's gonna be
transportation.
local. It's gonna take you to Walmart. The old bus system didn't take you to Walmart. The old bus system went by Kroger and went by the air base and gone.
And also taxi services within the city.
Right, it wouldn't take you to the hospital, it wouldn't take you to the doctor's offices, pharmacy, grocery stores. And it was costing us first year, exact same price we're paying now, we're paying for that other one.
It's an on-demand service, which is very, very different than a fixed route service. Yeah, provides a lot more
And
usability.
you do this in other
How this
areas.
works. I'm at my house, and I want to go to my friend's house across town. I call, I get a ride to my friend's house across town, and what does it cost me?
$1.35.
What does it cost the city?
That's within the agreement here.
But I can do
Cost
that,
the
right?
rider $1.35. There'll be an app, so it isn't necessarily a call. But if you wish to call, you can call a call center, and we'll get that service out or through the app. Yes.
So if I'm at work and I want to go to lunch, use my app. Y'all can come pick me up.
Use your
The
app.
city will cover all the other charge other than the $1.35.
Correct.
Okay.
Excuse me. If they go from their home to a doctor's appointment in Little Rock, $1.35?
This is within the Jacksonville zone,
Okay.
which is in Jacksonville itself.
But then you would have another fee when you got on your
Jacksonville
system in
to,
North
doctor's
Little Rock.
appointment in Little Rock.
It's not offered, right?
It is this service is within Jacksonville. Yes, correct.
Now,
So if they were doing that, they would have to go to that satellite location at McCain Mall and then wait for public transit
Correct.
at that point.
Correct.
And then that would be a new fee that they would accrue.
Yes.
And how much is that?
That is, I'm challenged here. I apologize for that.
No,
I
it's
haven't
okay.
been at Rock Region for very long, but it's under $2.
Okay. Let me help clarify something here. If you all know, fellow council members, that in realigning the base, that's one of the things the base said that the Jacksonville didn't have for the community was public transportation.
The key.
And this was not one to break even. This was to have public transportation to and from Jacksonville, to and from the base. And this is one of the things that the city of Jacksonville, having an Air Force base in our city, had to have public transportation.
That's right.
And this is one of the things we worked out with Metro, with public transportation. It wasn't a break-even thing. It was to have public transportation so we could maintain the community relationship with the Little Rock Air Force Base. That was one of the stipulations in choosing, when they were basing the realignment thing, that was one of the things there. And that's one of the things we came up with. And this is the thing we still got to stick with here.
okay, Councilmember Blevins.
I want to say that I am completely for us having a bus system. I just think it needs to be a city-owned bus system that we regulate and we take in the money and we have the ability to move and adjust at the time and also monetize for various reasons like adding advertising space. And like I said, the mayor said at $82,000 that with that amount of money I can run our own bus system and service the people for less money. And that was at $82,000. You said that, Mayor.
Right, it was actually 102, but that's okay, because I was getting 20 from CBDG. But
Well, I mean, we have CARES Act money though now, right?
But I
for the
looked
city?
into it, and it was more trouble than I thought it would be. It was harder to do than I anticipated.
I'm just going to say, having done the research, I don't believe that is true for this type of business, for this type of plan of driving one person, one person going and picking somebody up. Like again, this is $62 an hour for one individual in one vehicle. I know that as a city, we could probably hire two people at $30 an hour to drive their vehicle around, and we could have two people doing it. I just feel that this is not cost effective at $62 an hour or at $89,000 our cost, and it's only that cost if if they continue, I want to continue my thought. I know Councilmember Dietz over here said about insurance and everything. Even Uber drivers and Lyft drivers, they all have to keep their own insurance. Like Lyft and Uber doesn't pay for that because they use their own vehicle, which is something that we also could offer in the city if we decide to just look at one time at another option. But like I said, this is 10 hours, 6 days a week for $89,000. We don't know really. We don't have it locked in. We can't have a guarantee that we're going to get the CARES Act money, and we could be caught holding the bag. And
If
I
they
mean,
don't
again, I
provide
think
the
there's,
service, we don't pay them.
yeah, but then we had to pay a $100,000 cancellation to get out of the deal.
Not if they cancel it.
Well, and that's for
you're not gonna-
us purchasing the vehicle up front. That's that cost.
If you don't mind, excuse me, if by some chance the CARES Act money does not ends for any reason, will you cancel the contract?
I'm not at liberty to
Yeah,
say
that's-
yes or no.
Yeah. Again, they're not gonna do that. Councilmember Ray.
Councilmember Bolden.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What I want to make sure that we recognize, and I'd like to kind of horseback off what Councilmember Ray said. One of the things that they look at Barack when it's coming to our bases, one of them was a school district. Well, we got that, but we don't have public transportation. And I understand my fellow council members' concern about the cost and all of that, but liability is high if we have our own transportation. We're responsible for the mechanics, we're responsible for all maintenance, we're responsible for everything dealing with those vehicles and the personnel. That's why some school districts would automatically contract bus drivers because they wouldn't have to worry about the benefits, etc. So I highly recommend, I understand we looking at the fact, what if the CARES money leaves? What if this? We'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. But our people need transportation yesterday.
Mr. Mayor, due to the
Councilmember Raines.
Mr. Mayor, due to discussion, I suggested that we table resolution 812 to the next meeting.
Is that a motion?
Is that a motion?
Well, why are you?
I'll make it a motion if necessary.
Second.
Yeah, I don't mind seconding that either, but I do have some questions that were sent to me by a citizen I'd like answered.
I mean, are they for us or for him?
Yeah, it's for this discussion that is currently on the floor. So to clarify, yes, the satellite system within Jacksonville will take citizens as needed to McCain Mall to get to the connections, right?
If so, this is a very preliminary. So as we proceed through this, it would be part of the discussions on where the zone is and where we need to go. So
Okay.
that would be something that we can discuss further.
Okay, yeah, I just remember that in the presentation that was given, that was your guys' deemed satellite location, the hot spot. That was the connecting point. But the question is if a citizen needs to get to that connection point to get to the rest of the system, will that be an on-demand service for $1.35?
From Jacksonville to
the satellite.
Correct.
Okay. The second question is, will the transit system be allowed in base? Like in base, on base property? Through the gate to the community that lives inside Ward 5 in the Air Force Base?
And I would say that as we proceed through discussions, that we work with the base and and make sure that that's possible. That's a
Yeah, and
possibility.
I would definitely say that that would be a high priority, especially to the constituents of Ward 5, as well as, again, that monthly unlimited pass. The last question is for Mr. Mayor, I believe. Will community block grant funds be available for bus passes for citizens?
I'm not sure, but where we did pay for taxis, I'm sure that those will probably be available upon application.
Right, because from my understanding, and please clarify if I'm wrong, we do not have a current taxi system going
Correct.
through
As far as I know,
Jacksonville.
yeah.
Right, and so that coupon system, the voucher system is suspended.
Right. So that is, I think, very possible. I don't know that for a fact.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got a motion on the table to table this till the next meeting. Okay, one more. All right, go ahead.
You know, and maybe I look at all this wrong, but we lost bus service.
Right.
We don't have a taxi service in town.
Correct.
Taxi companies are in business to make money.
Yes, sir.
They make money by people using them.
Yes.
We have vouchers for people to use them so they get paid. Yet we still don't have a taxi service. That means there's not a volume to drive it. And why pay $100,000 if no one's going to use it?
You should field my phone calls. But
I mean,
that's okay.
I know if I thought I could make a lot of money with the taxi service, I would be the only one in town. You would think I could make money.
Can I say something, Mayor?
Okay, now we got a question. We got a motion to table it till next meeting so we can see if our question maybe find some answers, and maybe Charles can join us and help answer these.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we got a motion and a second to table it till next meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. All right, so we tabled it. Now that brings us to Councilmember Dees and his sale of, let's see, no. Okay, now we got Resolution 810, authorizing,
Resolution 810.
okay, motion to read 810.
Second.
No, it's only, you got a copy of 810, handy?
Should be in the,
Okay. All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Resolution 810, a resolution in support of and authorizing execution of sale documents for the city of Jacksonville for certain real property described herein and for other purposes.
Okay. Discussion. Rochelle, these are the same two lots. You got a map of them that we've discussed and approved the sale of. And so any discussion on these lots? Okay. Seeing none, all those in favor of resolution, say aye.
motion second to approve.
We had a motion, didn't we? All right, I need a motion second to approve.
So moved.
Got a motion second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. It's done. Now we're to Councilmember Deeds. That brings us to discussion of lots in Sunnyside subdivision. Councilmember Deeds.
Just for everybody's information, Rose had brought up some good points, and I think Brian did, but I brought everybody, doing some research for everybody. I brought everybody a form to look at, because there's not really anything in here that we're going to have to discuss right now. But that's the Sunnyside subdivision, the lots, the sizes, and right now we have the luxury. The city of Jacksonville owns 28 lots in Sunnyside. So I think it's time, as we've talked about, that we need to start not becoming property owners. And we're trying to save money, but in the same token, you know, if somebody wants to buy them, the way to approach them would be to, for one thing, a lot of the houses are old, dilapidated, burnouts. So we need to attempt to get the people that live next to them to maybe see if they're interested in them first. And we can short put them for bid if anybody wants them. We tried that for a year. Nobody wanted them. But right now at the city cost of mowing, just so you know, people think it doesn't cost you anything. If we mow them, own 28. We mow them once a month, which is not what happens. We mow them twice a month, which is $45 a shot, keeping our city maintenance workers from beautifying Jacksonville and doing things that they really need to be doing, besides maintaining property that, you know, the value hasn't really gone up in 20 years, and I don't foresee it. It could, but I'm going to say it's going to be a long shot. But so we're spending $1,260 a month for 6 months to keep property that we need to make sure and figure out a way to relieve ourselves of it. To put some more money back in the coffer. We're trying to save money, but in the same token, we're paying taxes, maintaining them, and no telling what else is going on there. So I recommend it. I've talked to quite a few realtors. You have the sizes here. I'll get anybody that wants it, and I was working on it today, and I thought we owned 14 over there, but we own 28. So I will do a list, give everybody a copy of it. There's some of them, there's 3 in a row, but my recommendation would be that we sell them in that $750, $1,000 lot. Approach the people that live next to them first, give them option, and make them combine it and make it 2 lots. So it'd be 1 lot, and it'd be big enough to do something with.
Councilmember Blevins.
Yeah, I love the idea of offering the lots next door to the people that have it, so they could. I mean, I think that's a no-brainer. My question is that this is Sunnyside, and there is a lot of low to moderate income families that may not have the ability to pay $1,000 or $750 for a lot of land. I am just wondering, is there any options for the city to have a finance plan available for these people so they could purchase these lots of land? Is there an opportunity
I wouldn't think the city could do that.
I don't know. That's why I was asking.
No, we can't do that.
I wouldn't think so.
Is it legal for us to finance land for people? No, that wouldn't be legal.
Okay.
Well,
I didn't know. That's why.
I like the idea, but that's been going on for years. They make a down payment and don't pay, and then they get it back, and the same person in town buys it and sells it again. There's a lot of wealthy people that's done that, but it'd be a perfect idea if somebody wants to buy them for $1,000 or $750 and sell them to somebody, finance them. Great opportunity. Bring us an offer, and we'll let the city council decide, and you can own them and sell them all to everybody and finance them. It'd be a great idea.
When you bring that to us,
Councilmember Trailer.
when you bring that to us, the lots and everything,
Yes, sir.
would you make sure that it says whether or not there's a house structure on the lot?
We don't have any lots that have any structures on except a few burnouts, but I will. Like I said, I apologize. I started working on it, and I only thought there was 14, so I had a list compiled of all the property we own, and I will get it for
I like
you.
the idea of selling the lots to anyone.
Yeah.
Especially if there's no structure on it.
That's right.
Combining it with another one.
Yeah, it would save us a lot. It would really help the maintenance department, because they could do city maintenance and things where they need to be, and we could relieve ourselves of that. And I think it would be a great idea. So I will get the additional information for everybody, and we'll sure have it at the next meeting for everybody, just so you can see.
Okay. Well, thank you.
So, Mr.
All right.
Mayor,
Councilmember Raines.
one thing that I wanted to add to this is the idea or possibility of making these properties available to the county auction. Say, for instance, that during the phase 1 of asking the person that lives next door to it, if they aren't able to, then just presenting it there at the auction with a minimum $750 bid.
Okay, I mean, we're not doing anything yet, so.
Right, I'm
we'll
just
take that out.
presenting the idea.
Okay. Yes.
Councilmember Dietz, when you were looking at this, what was the most expensive property of the 28 that you said were available in that area?
As far as the value?
Yeah, like the most expensive lot. I know that they varied from $750 to $1,000. Was there any that were $2,000 or $3,000 or anything like that, or were they all $1,000 and below?
They're all going to be really sellable. Is going to be $1,000 or below. I had I polled about 12 different real estate agents, which is what Rose had asked me to do. Kind of talked, and the 1,000 was pretty much the max. Some of them said, well, if you could give them to somebody, you ought to give them to somebody to let them own them, so they can maintain them, because the city's paying a lot of money on them. I don't know if I was paying $1,260 a month to maintain them, mow them, I'd be getting rid of them fast. I mean, that's just a logical business decision. Plus, we're really responsible for them. You talked about we sold that one to the gentleman because he was mowing it. Well, 2 things. if he gets hurt on that, we're responsible, and he's trespassing. So you got a little bit of a liability there. I mean, so it's business, but you know, if they can't afford a lot for, you know, and for to extend for $750 or $1,000, you know, I'm sorry, but you know, there's other people that will pay that, but we could alleviate ourselves for the lots and the burden is what I'm saying.
I was just going to say that I think that for a cost of say that they all could be purchased for like $28,000, it seems like that's a very small price to pay to maybe see if we can get a real estate company or something that may be willing to work with some low to moderate income families to be able to purchase that.
Well, two things, Brian. If you had a real estate company, they're going to charge more than what you're going to get because they don't do anything for free. Right now, this is kind of a free grass. The other thing is you got closing costs, and then you still have a lot of other burden. But I don't think they've been out there, and you know there's some out there, but there's nobody that's made offers or trying to buy them. Some of them been out there that are out there for 300-400 days, and you know it's just. It's not feasible where people, and to be honest, to build, you're talking one of these lots here is 60 feet wide in the front by 80 feet. I mean, that's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath house. We
I was just going to
double
say,
wides on them, or you know, if y'all want to prove that, which I don't think they do.
There may not be any offers because they don't know that they're available for sale. I mean, you said yourself you thought there were 17 and there was 28. So obviously the information wasn't getting out there.
I don't go in there, to be honest, because I don't sell them.
Yeah,
I sell the
that's what I'm
houses
saying.
for $8,000. I can get you a house over there on a lot for $8,000. So you know, it's economics in real estate.
Okay. That'll bring us to our next item. Council Member Deitch, you want to have a city council workshop? Is this inviting municipal league or what?
Yes, after conveying with Stephanie, you know, and with there's so many of us new up here. I mean, I know there's a lot of you that's been here, but for myself and Rose, Brian, you know, I thought that since we're not really allowed to talk to each other without the press being around, and we need to learn some things from the municipal league. Stephanie said it'd be a great time. We could all come together for a couple hours. We could all bring our clipboards. You could all bring our things that are bothering us that we can discuss out in the open, all of us together, and you know, and air all the dirty laundry out there, get everything behind us, find out what we should and shouldn't do, and you know, let's all come together and try to get things back on a positive note, moving Jacksonville forward. And I think that's what I would like to do. And you know, I'll bring it to a motion, but I just wanted everyone's opinion. I know that probably everyone won't be able to be there, but if you could be there, it'd be great, so we could put everything out there on the table and have the press there.
I assume the public would be invited?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And so, yeah. So it'd be a public meeting, and
a public meeting, and the municipal league can help us with questions, and the press, and you know, we can discuss things.
I don't think we need a motion. We just need
workshops.
With me, and let's get it organized.
Well, is there a way we could tie that into what Councilmember Raines was looking
I think
to
exactly
do?
so. That's why I asked if I could come. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yes. Councilmember. Right.
Yeah, so what, from my understanding, in previous years there were like weekend workshops, like maybe in 2012 or something like that, where you guys all came together and discussed like the 5-year plan, or am I?
We all did it through the municipal league at the one in the summer meetings. All the training was done at the one in the summer meetings.
Yeah, the planning meetings. So is this?
On Saturday.
And that was mandatory, and now it's not mandatory because colleagues had to take it.
You're right. We used to have.
I'm good with to be honest, this city's so important to me, people. I'll meet whenever you want to.
Right.
Monday
yeah,
through
and
Sunday, anytime where you want me to be, because I think it's a very important phase of what we need to do to get us realigned and what we need to do to progress the city forward.
Yeah, and I'm the exact same way. I think that we're saying the same thing. I'm for a realignment, and from my understanding, Councilmember Trailer, what you were talking about is what I was thinking about. So if we can, like, you know, do that, have a realignment, discuss long-term plans.
Okay.
Okay, I'll try to get with Stephanie and we'll try to figure out when we can do it and, you know, what'll be the most feasible schedule for everybody.
Yeah. As far as the town hall meeting that I was trying to call to order, that was just to go over the city org chart. So a lot of citizens, especially those of us who are younger, just now starting to begin to get involved with our community directly. We don't necessarily have that city org chart that we even understand. You know, who is who does what, who do we need to speak to for this, who does what, you know. And so having that meeting, if it's joined, I don't mind. If it's separate, that's fine too. But having that meeting and having that framework that a citizen can go to online to learn at any time is really, I think, would be a good resource for us. And even having all of the programs that we have that maybe people normally know about, like 911 service and fire and police, you know, for them to know that they kind of knew what they were talking about, not, you know, like reintroducing things while you're introducing new things is a good thing. But
Thank you. I think we can make some good out of this, y'all.
We'll be able
Thank
to
you.
do good things with it.
All right. I think that'll bring us to Councilmember Blevins. Had a citizen that wished to discuss the subject.
Yes, sir. I had the owner of the sandbar, Mr. McClarty. I had spoken with him. There was some information that was set online that maybe want to reach out and ask him, you know, what was being said. One of the main things that he wanted to do was come up here with other people that were in the same situation as him, and they wanted to have their moment to address the
I see
city.
Jace here and Dave and Hubert. So
Yeah.
y'all are welcome to come up and speak. But when you do address us, be sure you talk on a microphone that's green and tell us your name.
And this was for all the people in their group to speak, not just him. I know it said local business owner. It should have been owners.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jay McCarty, and I own the sandbar. Used to be the goalpost, and I've had it for going on 10 years now. And before we were annexed in, we had water, electric, power, everything that we had at the city. We had it before that we was a city. And our problem is we've been wanting sewers. I own 3 different pieces of property along John Hardin Road, and we're with about 15 business owners up in more or less the rural area that we don't get hardly anything. Anyway, we've been wanting sewers for years, and we've been addressing, we're working on it, we're doing this, we're doing that. We still haven't got anything. And just my business alone over the last 10 years, from paying 10% to the state that comes to the city, another 10% to the city, along with the permits and the occupancy and the privilege taxes and all that. Just my business over the years has paid the city somewhere about $538,000. Okay, we feel like we're neglected, that we're up there and we're not getting anything. We're getting nothing except higher taxes, and we just feel like, you know, we need to be part of it, and we need to get an answer. I mean, sewers would take our property value and triple it. And we've been asking, and we just don't get an answer. There's nothing except we're working on it or we don't have the money. Okay, somewhere our tax dollars are going, and we need an answer. I mean, are we going to get sewers? Or our property going to stay the same as a city? My resolution is on your it's a code 1440-2101, where you can annex in and out of the city, same way you guys did with Sherwood, and you annex from Sherwood. We need to either annex out or get some kind of tax cut until we do get improvements that will, you know, increase the value of our property.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I do have a question in reference to this. So resolution 811 that we just approved tonight, the 8 million in bonds, it says that it is to finance improvements, betterments, and extensions to the Jacksonville sewer system. So Thea, could you come up here and let us know if the sandbar is included in that extension, in the extension of the sewer system?
No, it's not. The wastewater utility does not receive any tax money. The wastewater utility operates strictly on sewer use fees. When you pay your sewer bill, it comes to us, and that's what we operate with. So the wastewater utility does not extend service to people who are not currently customers. So the bond issue is, in this case, is strictly for upgrades to the treatment plant.
Okay, and so realistically speaking, how would we go about adding people to the wastewater treatment plan?
Normally a developer builds water and sewer when they develop a property, and then once it is developed and the water and sewer is added, then the water department and the sewer department take it over to maintain it forever. And so that's where our costs come in. In the case where people already live in that property, sometimes they create a sewer improvement district or something like that to develop water or sewer.
Okay, can you elaborate on the sewer development district? Is that what you said?
Yes, no, I can. An attorney would have to elaborate on that. I don't know how you put that together, but it's when a group of people come together and they form a legal entity, they issue bonds or raise money, and then construct their infrastructure.
Isn't Base Meadows on the improvement district?
Yes, Base Meadows is.
And they pay additional real estate taxes to fund that district until it's paid for, and
yes, they do.
And they'll go down.
Yes, they do.
Okay,
Councilmember Blevins has his hand up.
Okay, go ahead, ask your question.
I was just going to say that, like, I remember when this happened. It was like right about the time that I first started getting really into what was happening with the city. Now, when I spoke to Mr. McClarty, he explained to me that him and his group of people were told one thing, and at the time I was under the understanding that the option was given that if sewer ever became available out there, that they were going to be able to connect for free. That was what my understanding was, and I explained that to Mr. McClarty, and I just obviously there was definitely some kind of miscommunication. So he wanted his time to speak, and I believe there is definitely a real concern here, especially with them not being able to have those resources available to them.
For sure.
And that is why I wanted to allow them to come speak today.
Clark, could I ask you a question?
Sure.
Other than sewer, what are there any other city services that you feel like you're not getting? Okay, hold up. That's what I said. Hold on.
Dave, hold up. If you want to speak, you can come up.
No, because that's what I said. I mean, what I'm hearing, y'all are part of the city, and you need to get as much city service as you can. I think the sewer is the big ask because of the expense of getting it out there to you, but I don't know what else. I can't think of anything else that would be a big
Oh, that
ask.
would increase the value of the property tremendously. And where we feel like we're getting left out is we're paying all these taxes. I mean, and where we were at to start out with, we have to pay Jacksonville tax when we buy our liquor. We pay 10% of our 29% goes to the state. 10% of that comes to the city that we pay the state, and then the city charges us another 10% on top of that. So we're sitting here paying all this money, and everything that we've had before we were incorporated. So the city actually give us nothing. And our deal is we would like at least see something for our tax dollar. And sewers would be tremendous.
And I don't know, but I would hope that you would have better fire protection than you had then.
Rates and fire.
Police protection than you had there, at least quicker response time. I mean, I'm not discounting what you're saying, I'm just saying there are some benefits of being in the
Right. Well, faster police protection, fire protection don't increase our property value.
No, but it may save a life.
Yeah, but, you know, our deal is, I've been going through this for almost 10 years, and I never get an answer. It's, we're working on it, we don't have the money. Okay, where's my tax dollar going every year if we're never gonna have the money? I mean, we are not worried about hooking on to sewers free. You wanna charge us $10,000 or $20,000 to hook onto one, that's fine too. But our deal is, we need to get some kind of improvements from the city out our way.
Right. So, Mr. Mayor, I just want to clarify from my understanding, the city of Jacksonville and Jacksonville Wastewater are two separate entities.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. So, Thea, is there any way that he can coordinate with you and figure out a way for us to get things done for him as far as getting the sewage line? Because I think that he's saying that he would be willing to do whatever it takes on his property to get it connected.
The last estimate that I was given by an engineer was about $11 million.
It's up there.
Right, yeah.
So someone would have to come up with the $11 million. And
Bobby can. Bob, you can
What?
come up with 11 million.
I don't
didn't
know
bring my
how
wallet.
I don't know how many
But
properties
we've
we're
talked
talking
this
about
several
connecting.
times. I mean, I've
We have
talked
all
to
the
them.
properties on the west side and the east side.
Of
Now
John.
that 11 million, would that give sewer to both sides or just one side?
Both. That would be both sides. Yeah.
Wouldn't want to do the wrong side.
You
What?
said that was an old estimate. So, what year was that estimate given?
16.
I don't want to say because I'm not sure. At least 6 or 7 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, and estimates are fine. Around 6 years or half a decade.
Stop.
Okay, Councilmember Trailer.
What was your question?
Oh,
Or what was your?
you been asked that.
Yeah, I know. I didn't ever hear
We
it.
don't get gas up there. We're still treated like it's county. Like I had to open my driveway up and go underneath city code. We've had so much more expenses being in city. Everything from an RPZ valve to I had to make my driveway to city specs because I'm technically in city, but yet I heat with propane. I got a septic tank. I'm not in city, but I have to go by city code because I got annexed in. So now we have RPZ valves, and we have all these other expenses that we never had prior.
In case you want to know.
And like you said, okay,
Dave
in all
Lab.
honesty, Jacksonville PD still showed up there anyway.
He owns
Was it
selection.
counted? Absolutely. Did we gain anything or any speed? No, we didn't. So those little things compared to, and I own that. I wasn't even asked. I bought my establishment in '08, and I wasn't even asked to be part of the annexation or not. And I can be honest, since I've been part of the city, my revenue has gone steadily down. I mean, I've actually leased the building on because revenue and the expenses. Of course, COVID hit everybody, so I mean, I understand that. Being in the retail sales business, I completely understand that. But in all honesty, ever since I've been part of Jacksonville, my revenue has gone down, not up.
And from my understanding, we said earlier in this meeting that in order to annex people into the city, you have to get explicit permission from the citizen.
51%.
Yeah, 'cause
Right. Yeah, and that is a huge disconnect. But my question to you is, did we get your issue to a point where maybe you can talk with Thea or form the attorney? What was it called, Thea? I'm sorry. Sewer Improvement District.
That's where we pay for our own sewer.
that's where you create an entity, and but there's probably grant opportunities as well.
Well, what about this? What if we get enough petitions to annex back into Pulaski County out of the city until we get improvements?
What would they have to do, Mr. Mayor, in order to?
I mean, let the city attorney, we can't create an island, but you could easily not be an island where y'all are, Hubert and Dave and you. There's one piece of property behind you that if all of it annexed back into the county, it would not create an island. I don't know who that landowner is behind y'all.
Salmon. That's Salmon's old property. But anyway, so if we got the right together, we could annex out of the city. That parcel of land could annex out of the city back into the county.
Okay, it takes the county's approval to accept you. There's things you have to do, but yes, that is a possibility. We get you and Hubert and Dave together. Hubert, you want out of the city too? If you want out, yes, sir. You want to come speak?
Yeah, we really didn't get anything. Y'all you weren't the mayor then. They came to us, wanted us to be part of the city. Are you going to make money? We got absolutely zero, nothing since we've been in the city.
Right.
I called and asked to get a trash pickup to come by. Well, we can't do it, they're your businesses, y'all, we can't pick up your trash. I go around and I see other businesses that pick up their trash. I've tried, we can't even get a green barrel out there, put our trash in, and y'all come by and pick it up. We've had sewer problems with these septic tanks. The other day, we had to get a septic tank to come out there and pump out the deal so they can open the bar, so we're gonna get shut down. We've been promised, we're gonna get sewer, we're gonna get sewer, we're gonna get sewer, and if that building gets on fire, we're a mile away from the fire department, they're gonna come out there and put it out. The police come out there and arrest everybody they can and set up roadblocks, get DWIs. The police and fire have done nothing for us. They do come by every now and then, put a card in the door, they came by at 3 in the morning, which is good, but we hadn't had any really problems other than fights every now and then, and every cop around to a couple we have a fight. We haven't asked for anything hardly. In 8 years we've been there, we've not bothered anybody. We come up there and ask politely to the mayor, not this mayor, but the other mayor's been there, promised all these things. We're not begging for anything. We pay taxes. We pay for our stuff. We've sit around here, we all get to go, let's annex out of the city. We wanted to be in the city. Jacksonville needs businesses in the city to help the city out. We don't want to be out of the city, but y'all are leaving us not many options. We've read the rules on what you gotta do to get out of the city. I guarantee the county wouldn't say they wouldn't want us back. But there ain't none of us have thought anything, said we wanted to be out of the city of Jacksonville. Jacksonville does not need to lose any business. I've answered that. I agree.
Agreed.
There's very few businesses from 1972 to 2022 that have come in this city. So why do we want to lose it?
Sir, could you come to one of the microphones and speak with us? Because this is very important, and I would like for everybody to have the opportunity to hear, even if they're listening online.
Mr. Mayor.
There's a bunch of microphones up here, just any of the ones that are green.
Okay. Councilmember Blevins.
Mr. Oakley, in regards to the trash, is that a situation that we could remedy? Like,
do not pick up restaurants, and stuff of that nature, because we pick up residential stock, only the 96-gallon containers. We don't do dumpsters, large dumpsters.
Well, we would pay y'all. We paying these dumpster people to show up. We wouldn't mind paying a price to pick up our dumpsters even.
We're not equipped.
Okay. I didn't know.
And y'all are equipped to take us in the city. They were equipped to take us in the city. What are we now, just outcasts?
Okay.
What are y'all equipped to do for us? Nothing.
I mean, just one thing. I mean, y'all certainly have the right to do whatever it is that y'all want to do, or try to whatever it is that y'all want to do.
Well, let's vote to get us out of the city tonight then. Have a vote to make a motion.
When you're doing it, I want you to think one thing. How is annexing out of the city going to help your sewer problem?
It's not. It would make his taxes lower.
Well, the problem is, if we don't have sewers, we don't feel like we should be paying 30-some% taxes when we're not getting nothing from the city. We're not getting anything at all, but we're getting taxed. Behind closed doors, you took it from 5% to 10%. not counting the 10% that we pay at the state. So automatically, we didn't vote on anything higher taxes, but we got it. So we pay our taxes to the city. We go ahead and we pay the taxes hoping that we're going to get improvements, and we're not. And it's been 10 years. So my deal is I feel like we ought to proceed with either a tax cut our taxes 50% or let us annex out of the city back into the county. And that will cut our taxes tremendously. So that's the way I feel about it.
I think that could be drawn up, and we could talk to the county judge if that's what y'all please. And I would be
curious to know what the tax would be
right. I think we
in the county versus in the city. I mean, you know, I certainly would rather y'all be in the city than in the county.
Yes,
we
I
can't
would
get
too.
sewer there. I mean, it's just not feasible to have to spend that kind of money.
What you're saying as well, but like Hubert brought up, I mean, and it cost me a lot of revenue, but you also took away my 5 a.m. out there, and that drove my revenue down to the toilet by a city ordinance that I knew nothing about until after it was passed, and that affected our income. And by being annexed back in the county, guess what? I get it back. Because it's Pulaski County, it's a state license. So I automatically get that back, the ordinance doesn't apply. So there's another reason.
And that is something we can look at as well.
It's cost me revenue and it's cost me money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm sorry that I'm new. I want to understand the 5 a.m. thing that you mentioned.
Yes.
Could you elaborate on that? You said that it was an ordinance
I
that.
have a license from the state, says we can serve till 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Jacksonville passed a city ordinance to stop that after they annexed us in.
Okay, Stephanie, could you tell me what ordinance that is?
Off the top of my head, no.
Okay, but like
There's-
Friday,
there's
Monday,
two clubs
Tuesday,
that are licensed for 5 a.m. as far as my knowledge.
by
And
the
they're both
state,
out
but
there
not the city.
on the north, and they're licensed by ABC, and they were 5 a.m. licensed, and because the city council decided to limit private clubs to 2 a.m., which is Dave's other license is a 2 a.m. license, and so.
Got rid of the bar next to y'all, y'all give us one break.
We're just trying to make money.
Well,
Yeah,
and
I totally
I've talked to
understand
Dave
that,
a
and
little bit
I-
about
To be honest,
this.
Jacksonville, I
Right.
really don't. I own the rocks right around the corner. It's a 2 a.m. We're fine. We're changing a few things around. I want to buy pin, feather, and pearl. I really want to buy that whole establishment, to be honest with you. But I'm so paranoid to
Right.
spend that kind of money
Because of the
and never
taxes.
don't feel like I have the city behind me.
Right.
And I want to buy that whole deal from Chicken Country. Well, I won't buy Chicken Country, but that whole plaza, and try to put businesses in there, because I know the floral shop, and I know several businesses that are interested I could lease to, but I'm just paranoid, because ever since my other establishments, I had to lease it out, because my revenue has gone down since Jacksonville.
Right,
I feel
and
like they're not on my
We might
side.
want to
Right.
revisit
I
that
don't wanna
ordinance.
drop
Right, we-
$800 on a building
if
if I got no support.
Right. So, Stephanie, could you work with me on that ordinance so that we can revisit that? Because honestly, I think that it would be a huge disservice for us to lose eager entrepreneurs that are willing to bring in taxes to the city. As far as I know that we can't do the wastewater without the $11 million entity or whatever, but there should be something that we can do as a city to maintain these entrepreneurs, to nourish them, to try and help flourish their business.
Maybe we'll get a trash pickup truck instead of 4 10-hour bus ride.
So if I'm understanding your question correctly, you want me to amend the current ordinance to allow liquor sales till 5 a.m.?
Yes.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Oh, hold on.
I'm saying to revisit
Before we do that, certainly, I mean, you know, the last thing I would want to do is change this ordinance, and y'all still aren't satisfied. I would rather us sit down and come up with what we could do
Right,
to
what can
make,
we do as a city?
as a
Right.
city, to make you not want to de-annex instead of just changing one thing and then have to change. I mean, you know, and whether that's having some kind of committee that involves the business owners out there and one or two of the city council members to bring
idea.
something to the city council that would make y'all happy, us happy. That would be the way to go instead of just jumping around trying to do one thing or another, or y'all de-annexing or whatever. But
let's see what we can do to make it where being in Jacksonville is good for your business.
Mr. Mayor, you know, I'm part of sewer line improvement district where we did 125 people in a community, and I'd be glad to sit on a committee to help that area to get sewer through federal government money and state money. That's the way we got sewer through the field improvement district, that we can do it. You remember out on Kirkendall had a same kind of system out in western Pulaski County. But our system hooks onto the city of Jacksonville. So I'm thinking we can work out a plan with the committee that can we hook you all to the city of Jacksonville.
Would y'all be
come up with some money?
Participate with us?
And I think it's not money out of your pocket. I think it's taxpayers' money.
I know y'all are. I know all of you. You're good folks.
Yeah, and I will say that's one thing that when we were talking about the 11 million, it's not necessarily coming directly from you guys. Like Councilmember Ray said, there is a lot of funds available statewide, country-wise, and whatnot. I think that Councilmember Ray would be a wonderful appointment to that special committee.
He does have experience in that field.
I do think that maybe having separate special committees, one for the sewer, one for the
Let us all be one.
Let us all be one. We need to make these property owners as happy as we possibly could.
I agree. I felt that it was important enough to give them the opportunity to speak, like they requested, like they were talking.
Okay. All right. I think we'll put a committee together and start working on that. All right, gentlemen. Thank you all. Ladies, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. All right. Next thing is we have.
Good to see you again.
Honorable Hubert Alexander. All right, so I would take volunteers to be on that committee at this time. All right, we got Councilmember Ray, Councilmember Raines, okay?
Oh, I will.
Councilmember Traylor, all right? Councilmember Blevins, and you know, I think I'd like to be on this committee as well.
Okay.
All right, and so that gives us 5 members from the city and half a dozen or so business owners. I think we can get some work done, and I'm sure Thea will be glad to help us any way she could and help us with grants and things. All right, appreciate that.
I just want to make one more statement about this. When I did speak to Miss Thea, when I wanted to ask questions about what exactly happened with all this, I do want to say that she said that you came to her and that you were very proactive in trying to make this happen. So yes. I appreciate that, and I did relay that to them, even though it didn't seem like it was something they really wanted to hear.
They know I am.
But you, I do want to state that it was definitely stated that you made efforts to try to fix that, and I appreciate that.
Right, and I'm still trying. So okay, we have a appointment to the A&P Commission. William Fagan, who is the owner of the Sonics, he was going to be here tonight, caught in traffic and couldn't make it. I told him I'd move it up, but to replace Pat Green, who resigned. He's the owner of both of our Sonics in town, and he's been requested to be on the A&P Commission. Do I hear a motion?
Second.
Got a motion, a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. All right, another appointment is our head of our planning commission, Mark Stroud, moved to El Paso, but I don't mean Texas. and so that left the vacancy there. Jim Moore's going to fill in. So what we've decided to do is Tanner Rupel is on the Board of Adjustment, and we're going to move him, and then the planning commission will actually be they'll appoint members to the Board of Adjustment, so it'll kind of fill that whole slot. So I entertain motion.
Make motion.
All right. Got a motion, second. Any other discussion? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. All right. I've got a couple more things I want to bring up. Chief, I'm on your safe baby haven. If you'd bring that up, I'd like you to. And Brett, you can get ready. This is a new program that's we're trying to bring to Jacksonville?
Yeah, this is a program that started several years ago, and I think we're probably the third state that the CEO of this program has entered, and it's a safe haven baby box program, and I believe I've sent you all some basic information on it. I hope you read up on it. And really tonight is just in case you have any basic questions. It's still in its, no pun intended, infancy phase. But Lieutenant Cody Henley is in charge of the project, so if you have any questions.
It's in another city right now in Arkansas?
Several.
Several?
It is, yes.
But Benton, was that the one that had the baby rabbit and put it up?
Yes, I sent you one with Benton. Yes.
Right.
Is this where you can drop the baby off?
Would it just be at one location? I mean, it'd just be at one fire station?
That's the plan, is to start at one fire station right now, yes.
Do we have that fire station identified at this time?
No, we don't. We have an idea, we have a suggestion, but we're going to get with the CEO and see what she thinks about it as well. Right.
And there is grant money for this, correct? There is grant money available for this, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so is this fully funded by grant money, or?
None of the departments in the state that have it have paid any money at all.
Okay.
So it's not a direct grant, but it is almost always completely covered by grants.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. I just wanted y'all to be answering questions, and glad you're doing it. Chief Hibbs, if you want to say anything about your new ABLE program, y'all may have seen it on the news, seen it in the paper. It's a new program that Chief Hibbs is starting. I told him just be brief. We've been here long enough. We've been here long enough.
We'll start eating before we come in here, aren't we?
Yeah. Or order pizza or something.
We have a lot of things going on, really, but one of them that I'm proud of is the ABLE, Active Bystandership for Law Enforcement. It's a program out of Georgetown University in D.C. I had a couple-hour presentation when I was there.
Yeah, pick up that green mic over there. Would you pass it
You want
down?
both of them?
Yeah, it don't matter.
All right, so Georgetown University, it is a program that came out of the George Floyd incident, and it trains the officers in several things. But you know how the officers stood around after the George Floyd thing. Now, active bystandership is something we've really done for years. It's not new. Officers that I have never seen just stand by and let some officers mess up. However, that is a big deal right now, so there is training for it. And it's an 8-hour class. I have 2 people that I sent to training. I had sponsors, Bishop Bolden's church, NAACP, the mayor. What?
Yeah, I'm just
Okay,
saying.
okay. And we had to have that in order. It's all free, but we had to have stuff from the community in order to get it. So we do scenarios, 8 hours of training. Every officer has to go through it, including myself. And basically, what I like about it is if they have, they use several instances to keep an officer from getting hurt. An officer doesn't search properly, or maybe it's a sergeant or a lieutenant. A younger officer sees them make a mistake, not do a thorough search. That's not only a safety concern, because a person could be armed, they miss something, there's dope, something like that. A younger guy doesn't know how to approach that and say something, intervene to the higher ranking person. So what it teaches them are ways to interject and do it politely and kindly without offending or breaking chain of command, stuff like that. Also, it teaches the officers that follow a policy to, if they see another officer making a mistake, sometimes tensions are high. Stress in our job is tremendous right now. Officers' mental health is not good across the country. We're doing a lot for that, peer-to-peer, whole bunch of other training. And so, you know, emotions are high. When emotions get high, tempers flare, they make mistakes, they do things they shouldn't. So this is a way to intervene and stop an officer. You're getting a little worked up, stand back, let me take over for you. It's just a polite way of doing it. It's 8 hours of training, but I mean, they have sponsors. It's all free for us because it's paid by corporate sponsors from all over. Big Fortune 500 companies are putting money into it. So far, now there is some new legislation that says we have to do this type of training, but we're the only ones that are doing the ABLE program in Arkansas so far. The ABLE program is the one I like. It's pretty thorough. They actually do acting scenarios, role playing and stuff like that. So far for us, it's been really good.
I think it's a great program. Appreciate y'all doing it.
Yes, thank you so much.
Any comments from the council?
I do have a question. So since you said that we're the first in the state to certify in the ABLE program.
Correct.
So are we going to be serving as a example for the state, and as a additional training site, or? There are some other programs that are similar to this. All right, this one's called ABLE, but it's all de-escalation and like the bystandership stuff. There is some other programs in the state mandated. Ours is the 8-hour full version that I think is probably better than what the state is offering right now. And the state is a 4-hour requirement?
I believe so. That's all new and it's still being worked out, to be honest. That's brand new legislation that just started.
Right.
We're one of the few agencies that's doing this type of training.
Right.
8 hours of it at that, which is a lot.
Right, and I greatly appreciate you for doing that and for setting that example for your department.
There's a lot to say about it, so this is really brief, but I don't know if I answered your
Sure.
questions. But
yes, you did. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Mayor, can I say something real quick?
Yes, sir.
We're in a climate now that de-escalation is very important. What the police department is doing, outstanding. What the fire department is doing, it's going to save a lot of children. So, you know, the mindset of people across the country, everybody's suffering from a form of PTSD. No matter where it was birthed. So it's very good that our people are doing what's necessary. So thank you so much.
And I have one announcement. Trunk or treat will be at Dupree Park starting at 5:30, I think. And it's a little bit different this year. They're going to have, of course, the candy, the cakewalk, the costume judging contest, hay rides. But this year we have a hay maze. Thank you, Councilmember Blevins. It was his idea that we do this. And it'll be interesting. It'll be a real maze that you go in, and there's some ways you can get out and some ways you can't. So, yes, sir. That's Halloween, 31st.
It is on Sunday.
Yeah.
Mayor, I would like to correct that. That idea was not mine.
Okay.
That idea
But
was.
you took it to Kevin.
Yeah, I did take it to Kevin, but that idea was actually submitted by Debbie Fulton online, and I thought it was such a good idea that I did take it to him.
Well, good. I'm glad we're doing it. It sounds like fun.
Yes, sir. And I also have an announcement or a statement that I'd like to make, just a clarification. Earlier in the meeting, Councilmember Raines said that you hadn't used your mallet or called anybody, said they were out of order.
That's okay.
I would just like to clarify that, just for transparency's sake, just to have a level playing ground. During the last city council meeting, you did absolutely say that I was out of order.
I use this, yes, so that's okay.
I just want to be clear.
Those are minute little things, not worried about them. All right, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved. All right, we're adjourned.
Oh my God, yes.